The 40 or so muscles in the human face can be activated in different combinations to create thousands of expressions. But do these expressions look the same and communicate the same meaning around the world, regardless of culture? Is one person's smile another's grimace?
Hello. As you can guess from the previous video, we would like to talk about nonverbal communication. So, we are going to share with you definition of nonverbal communication by our English native speaker partner, Gabriel.
Facial expressions, gestures, mannerisms, appearance.
Let's take a look at the fine intention of nonverbal communication. First, reflecting identity. Second, expressing emotion. Third, managing conversation. Fourth, creating interpersonal attraction. And fifth, forming impressions. In this video, we're going to explore expressing emotion and attitudes and provide some examples of it. According to Wintergers and McBenney in 2001, it allows to the emotions that are communicating through kinesics, and their meaning varied from culture to culture. We should bear in mind that kinesics refer to facial expression and vocalics.
On the other hand, Charles Darwin theorized that emotional expressions were a common human feature. The expression of the emotions in man and animals was published in 1872. This theory postulates that facial expressions are not unique to humans, but found in other marine species as cats, dogs, horses, and primates. Facial expressions of emotions are universal. This claim was tested by Paul Ekman in 1960, as we can check in the following fragment.
In the 1960s, psychologist Paul Ekman set about testing this theory by examining hundreds of hours of film footage of remote tribes isolated from the modern world. Ekman found the native people's expressions to be not only familiar, but occurring in precisely the situations he would expect. Conversely, he ran tests with tribes who had no prior exposure to Western culture. They were able to correctly match photos of different facial expressions with stories designed to trigger particular feelings. Over the next few decades, further research has corroborated Darwin's idea that some of our most important emotional expressions are in fact universal.
While Darwin proposed that facial expressions of emotions are universal, he also proposed that gestures are culture-specific conventions. The difference in facial expressions from culture to culture is the intensity and acceptability of that, and gestures can mean different things in different countries. For example, smiling is a facial expression that is universally associated with happiness. However, different from Western countries, in China this gesture is used with less intensity and sometimes it is used to show confusion or embarrassment. About gestures, in Spain, Colombia, and other Anglophone cultures, the gesture to express OK is to make a circle with the thumb and the index while the others are up, but in other countries it has a different meaning. In Brazil, it is an insult. In French, you are saying that someone else is deaf. Even sometimes this gesture is associated with white supremacy groups.
Another example is winking. Here in Colombia and in most Western culture it means intimacy. Also that you're joking or letting someone else know you're lying. When in countries like China, it is a rude gesture and can be perceived as a sexual innuendo. We should bear in mind that nonverbal communication is a decisive factor when communicating with people. We have to acknowledge that not all people share the same culture, and the lack of this information may cause misunderstanding situations. We also found that facial expressions are universal. What changes from culture to culture is the meaning or the interpretation that people make about it, the intensity of the emotion, and how often people show these emotions. That's why we have to be conscious of nonverbal communication if we're attempting to visit another country or contacting people of a different culture.
Thank you so much for your attention. I hope you have enjoyed our video.